Omaha just became a case study for the whole country. For the first time ever, this majority white city elected a black mayor. His name is John Ewing Jr., breaking a 12-year Republican stronghold. Ewing, a former cop turned county treasurer, is stepping into a city that folks called the, quote, best place to live under GOP rule. But now the keys to Omaha belong to a brother from North Omaha. It got to be North. And that got Nebraska Republican governor blaming his own base for not showing up. Nebraska said, look, or Nebraska's governor, I should say, said, look, if y'all had shown up, we wouldn't have this darky in office. He didn't actually say that, but that's the tone I heard. That's what I heard underneath it. Ewing's win is what happens when black leadership pushes through in places where they said it couldn't. It's about power. It's about access. And about showing up when everybody expects you to stay home and accept the status quo. Ewing says he's going to bring City Hall closer to the people. He's going to make services easier to access. He's going to make government more accountable. That all sounds good to me. He'll be sworn in next month. He's also inheriting a city with big money, big expectations, and folks in high places who are going to be watching his every move. Can the city's first black mayor make good on the promises of change, or will the same old gatekeepers block him at every turn? This is the classic question. I always want to go back to the Indiana political convention. 1970s were an interesting time. And I talk about this in my book, We Still Here. Black politics. So let me say a couple of things. First, black people organizing and electing a black mayor, I ain't got a problem with that. It wouldn't be high on my list of things to do, but I appreciate it happening. Not for its own sake, but because I think what it does is that it reminds us of what's possible when we organize and we vote. Let me say that first. 1972, there was the National Black Political Convention in Indiana, and there was something called the Gary Declaration. And it was really a moment where black politics were at a crossroads. In fact, that's what they call it, like the Gary Declaration, black politics at the crossroads. In Gary, Jesse Jackson was there, Mary Baraka was there, lots of people were there, and they were there to talk about what it means to build a kind of black political agenda. And one of the takeaways, in my estimation, and again, I talk about this in my book, We Still Here. One of the things that came out of that was a kind of investment in electing black leadership in the cities. Let's have black mayors, let's have black governors, let's have black aldermen, let's have et cetera, et cetera. And this was an actual commitment. And we've seen the aftermath of it. Our faith in the possibility, the transformative possibility of having a black mayor or a black governor or a black president, we made the investment. And we found out that ain't enough. Many of the cities that were catching the most hell in, Philadelphia, Baltimore, Chicago, often have black leaders. I'm not blaming black mayors for this. I'm saying that the system is not fixable simply by putting a black person in charge of the same infrastructure, the same system. And so when I see that Omaha goes black, I think that that's cool. I think that that's fine. Hell, I think that that's good. But not for its own sake. Only as a reminder of our power, our collective power. I'm excited when we make moves that get us toward freedom. And electing a black mayor or black governor usually doesn't do that. I'm not dissing this person. I don't know this person. This isn't a criticism of the black mayor of Omaha, Mr. John Ewing Jr. I ain't mad at that per se. I just want to remind us that the victory isn't in getting John Ewing to be mayor. It's in what we're able to do and demand from John Ewing Jr. once we get John Ewing Jr. in office. And then it'll be governor, and then it'll be whatever. You know, and I say this across the board. It's not enough to just applaud Hakeem Jeffries for threatening Donald Trump. We got to do some real work. We got to do some real work. We got to demand more from the Congress. That doesn't happen simply by electing a black person. And I think that that's probably one of the more important takeaways from the National Black Political Convention in Gary, that everybody was there for. Y'all, one day we're going to do a special just on that, on the convention, because it was a watershed moment in black politics.